Mom, don't.
Shortly before this moment, a terrible accident would occur, highly compromising this hot air balloon and putting both its pilot and passenger in serious danger. The video is very unsettling, but before I show you the rest, I'm gonna have to give you some context. The Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta is an annual hot air balloon event that takes place early October in Albuquerque, New Mexico. It's the largest convention of its kind in the entire world, lasting a total of 9 days and boasting over 500 balloons. It draws in thousands upon thousands of spectators, makes for a great family event, and this upcoming weekend will actually be its 52nd annual run. With that being said, the event has had its fair share of accidents. Hot air balloons are much safer than one would initially think, but just due to the sheer volume and concentration of flights at these events, you're bound to see the odd problem over the span of half a century. The very obscure footage we're taking a look at today is an example of one of those accidents and is nothing short of horrifying. The video was shot during the 19th annual Balloon Fiesta in the year 1990, where over 150,000 spectators would be present. It takes place around 10 a.m. on the opening day of the event and features a balloon known as the Sunrise Special approaching an open field for landing. Inside of the balloon is 46-year-old pilot Stephen Fallacy and 32-year-old passenger William Schobel. The weather was fantastic, the adrenaline was flowing, and the flight was by all means going as planned. Once it became time to land, Stephen would adjust the burner and start steering towards a field he had scouted out as a landing area prior to the ride. Now, it's unknown as to whether or not the wind took them or if it was just a grave operational error, but upon their approach they got way closer than expected to a nearby power line, and once they realized it was already too late. The Sunrise Special would unfortunately make contact with the power line, setting it ablaze and causing a massive burst of flames while the people behind the camera scream in agony. I wish I could tell you that things got better from there, but you know how these videos go by now. The pilot and the passenger, obviously both in an immensely dire situation, were left with very little options. Being subject to extreme electrical heat and having nowhere else to go, they jumped out of the basket one by one. What's most harrowing to me in this footage is the shrieks of the people behind the camera knowing they had just likely witnessed 2 deaths in real time. Based on the intensity of the reaction, it sounds to me like a mother and daughter who are family members of those on board, but there's no knowing for sure. We actually don't even know who filmed this footage, but nonetheless, it's a rough listen. I'll play the video for you now. Viewer discretion's advised.
Oh, God, no!
Get in the car, honey. Hey, get in the car. Calm down.
Oh, my God. Please! Oh, please!
Don't look at him. Don't bother you.
Mom, don't.
Get in the car.
In this entry, I'm not going to give you a backstory because I quite literally cannot find a single piece of information on this video, and I promise this will only make it more interesting. I found its original source, but still there's no background information beyond what you're given in the video. All we know is that it was featured in 3 different 90s shockumentaries, which some of you probably remember seeing float around back in the day. Nonetheless, it feels like the beginning of a hunt. I reverse image searched segments, I searched through hundreds of police standoffs, read every 80s to 90s article I could find on SWAT shootings, reached out to some valuable people, and even tried RBI, and they banned me. So needless to say, as of right now, this is unidentified media. I don't know, maybe this is simple when the answers have been right in front of my face, but doesn't seem like it. Footage takes place in North Carolina and begins with a man stepping out onto his porch wielding a shotgun. His house is surrounded by police, and the narrator tells us that he's a psychologically disturbed man, threatening to unalive his father. It took them 4 hours just to convince him to step outside, and although he does, he's unwilling to let go of his weapon. The police continue trying to negotiate with him, and all while this is happening, a SWAT team lines up on the side of his house just in case things escalate. After more failed deliberation, the man steps off his porch and doesn't seem to have any intentions of surrendering. He makes his way to the side of the house with his weapon still drawn, where he comes across the SWAT team suddenly. When the SWAT team sees this, they promptly take him out.
Hey. No, I'm not pulling this down. Come on, go ahead, check the real good. Don't feel everything in the back. In the back. Oh, shit.
An ambulance later arrives and the video fades to black. And that's it. That's literally all I have on this video. I could have spent more time digging, but I honestly think it's more fun getting you guys in on the hunt, so if you find anything or recognize this story, please just let me know. Bears may be fascinating, but they are apex predators, and so usually when people discuss them in the context of an accident, it's about someone or their pet falling victim to an attack. In the case of this entry though, the bear is actually the victim. I'm sure many of you guys have seen this in the form of a clip or a GIF, but it's pretty old and not many people know the story or what happened before and after, so I figured it was worth exploring. Strangely enough, this case also takes place in Albuquerque and also involves electricity. I did not intend for that to happen. It begins with a mother bear who has lost track of one of her cubs. Due to instinct, the mother becomes very frantic and spooked, eventually leading herself into a suburb where she'd obviously become a risk to people and herself. Authorities and video crews tracked her as she ran across the streets, dipped through parking lots, and eventually to a location where she believed she was safe. With nowhere else to go, the mother bear scaled a nearby utility pole and sat at the top in an effort to withdraw from the ensuing chaos. And at this point, animal rescue were left with very little choice. She was inevitably going to get shocked, and even if she did manage to get back down, she could be some sort of threat to the people around her. So given that she was isolated, they made the difficult decision to tranquilize her. She quickly got woozy and began to hang off of the structure, but as expected, she'd get shocked and consequently sent off the pole towards the ground. And sadly, the video ends there. No, I'm just messing with you. Turns out this mother bear is an absolute tank because it had no internal organ injuries or broken bones. Additionally, the fur acted as a massive insulator, and so the current only ran through her for a very short period of time. The bear did suffer pretty serious burns on its back two legs, but the awesome vets were able to quickly perform surgery and get it on its journey to healing. It was no easy task, but the mother bear toughed it out, and in the end, she was reunited with her cub. An actual good ending for once. The confession bear is a meme many of you will probably remember. It was popular in 2012 to 2013, and like most memes, it sort of subsided pretty quickly. It was started by Reddit user F18bro when he made a post titled, "I have a lot of weird stuff that I'd like to be able to confess to Reddit so I can get it off my chest. So I made Confession Bear." Most of its uses were obviously just funny or wholesome, but one dude took it to a whole different level. Amidst the meme's peak success, a Reddit user named u/Narado made a post titled, "Finally have the guts to say it," and added his own take on the confession bear. It wasn't just some stupid joke this time though. This time it read, "My sister had an abusive meth addict boyfriend. I killed him with his own drugs while he was unconscious and they ruled it as an overdose." The meme is usually reserved for innocuous confessions, so almost immediately it had a lot of people getting overly concerned and asking if this was a real confession. Somewhere during the outrage, someone ended up doxing him completely, posting his real name, address, and even tracking down the sister. Obviously after this, he removed the post entirely. By using the doxing info that users posted, a tech journalist named Joel Johnson found the guy's real sister on Facebook and she actually spoke on the event. Here's what she said. "My brother lives in another country, not sure what he does online. It's an ill-advised prank. I know no one who has overdosed and my brother's a scrawny gamer. I've seen your Twitter, Facebook, and would appreciate if you wouldn't link anything to me as I'm currently applying for higher level positions in my career. As you might imagine, this could adversely affect me. I respect your ethics as a reporter doing research and wish you luck, but his attempts at internet points or karma have nothing to do with me." The journalist Joel Johnson also told Mail Online that the sister is pretty web savvy and she said she didn't know what her brother had been doing and she'd never known anybody to overdose. She said she didn't want to be in the middle of all her brother's silly internet games. A few days after all of that, the original poster would make a final post to Reddit, clarifying everything himself, confirming altogether that this was just a troll gone too far and that the sister was right. First and only comment to be made here by me. I posted this wondering what would happen. There's some truth behind it, but I'm not saying what was true and what wasn't. If I had $1 for every time someone took me seriously on the internet, I'd be able to retire from today alone. I'm sorry to anyone that I've offended to the point of ruining their lives, and to everyone else, get f***ed. It's the internet. If you want to catch a murderer, get out of your house, put on some fucking tights, and go fight crime. I'm quite done with Reddit for tonight. Back to the shadows of working. The world isn't quite ready for me. Wow, what a tough guy. Edit. The reason for this post and the admittance it was a joke is because people started posting my own personal information on there, not shit that was in my post history. Sure, you can find out information about me, but linking me to something that happened is completely different. I made a meme about something and it was turned into people revealing my personal information. It was quite rude and very uncalled for. U/Narado later deleted his account and everyone forgot about this situation, but I didn't. That's going to do it for this one, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed this type of dark material, please consider liking and subscribing, but if not, that's okay too. I upload 2 or 3 videos like this every week, and I appreciate you watching nonetheless. A lot of people have been asking me if I'm going to make a Patreon, and the answer is yes, but I just want to make sure I can actually over-deliver first on it, because, I don't know, if you're spending your hard-earned money on something, I don't want to just do, like, a couple extra benefits. I want to do something like maybe an extra video on there every single week, so maybe offload one from here, and then post every Monday, Friday on YouTube, and then one on Patreon, and everything on there will be uncensored. I'll figure it all out, and I'll let you guys know. But thank you for all the support.